I'm filling up the frame.
Lucky you're very tall, yeah. Then I don't look so tall.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, I guess so. Good for you.
Yeah, good for so hi everyone. My name is Vivian and I'm a sea jelly specialist and I work for SEA Aquarium Sentosa.
Okay,
Yeah.
so sea jelly specialist. Okay, so
Yeah.
well, we were talking a little bit earlier about what's it raising moon jellies because people at home also tend to do it. I would say not with a lot of success from what I've seen. People just use it like it's like a living lava lamp. And I don't know how I feel about it. So you were just talking about like the food, right? The
Yeah, the
Artemia and stuff. So why don't you run us through like how the jellies are fed, how the food is harvested, and stuff like that?
Yeah, basically we hatch our Artemia every day by ourselves. We culture them, then we hatch them. After that, we feed them to the different species of sea jellies. So most sea jellies, they eat brine shrimps, Artemia, but there are also some species that eat other things like jellies also.
Like what?
Jellies.
They eat other jellies?
Yeah, so like these other jellies eat other jellies.
So you have to raise them for...
So after we raise them, right, when they grow bigger and bigger, then when they age, they will shrink.
Oh.
Yeah, so when they shrink, then we actually feed them to other jellies. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so like for species like this is called the white spotted sea jellies. These jellies are photosynthetic, so they just need the light. So you don't really need to feed them a lot.
Supplemental feeding.
Yeah, it's just like enrichment.
Oh,
Yeah. So they use the light to photosynthesize to make their own food.
they have chlorophyll? Like how does that work?
No, they have a type of algae inside them called zooxanthellae, something like
it's like corals?
Yeah,
Oh.
like corals, yeah. So they are able to use the light to make food themselves. So the light is sufficient, but we do feed them brine shrimp as enrichment, as a...
That's interesting. I did not know that about.
Yeah.
So what kind of photo period or what kind of lighting is required for them to photosynthesize?
No, so we basically...
As long as there's light lah.
Yeah, as long as there's light. Yeah, we keep them at about 50 par.
Okay.
Yeah, about 50 par. Anything stronger is also okay, just that the whole tank will be like very green.
Very green.
And a lot of maintenance to do. Yeah, so all these are seawater also.
Yeah.
And this one is actually the apharas. Apharas are the babies of this. Like these are actually juvenile. They can grow up to like 15 cm.
Oh, these guys are the juvenile.
These are juvenile.
Okay.
These are babies. These are like just...
What? There's stuff inside?
Yeah, can you see?
Oh!
Yeah.
Wow.
So
They didn't even look alive.
yeah, it's because now the flow is very bad.
Yeah,
but if it's in a chrysal, you can see them much clearer.
Oh, I see
So
them
these
spinning.
are only about a week, two weeks old.
So what is the life cycle of a jelly?
Okay, basically for most of the sea jellies, right, the male and female, when they spawn, once they spawn, they are like corals. So the planula, they will free swim and then attach themselves on any substrate and then develop into what we call a polyp, something like coral. But corals are like a lot of polyp to make a big coral. For sea jellies, it's like one polyp can actually produce a stack of jellies.
Okay.
Yeah, so one polyp can stack up and then gives off many baby sea jellies. Yeah.
Okay.
So then from here you raise, you grow them, then after that they grow bigger and bigger, then when they age they shrink.
So the polyps fall off the jelly, is it?
So the eggs when you get fertilized, it free swim. Swim already, then attach themselves on anywhere, then grow into a polyp.
At what age do they start producing?
Actually, it's not really about the age only, it's about the size.
Oh.
So if you keep them well, they can grow mature enough sexually, then they are able to.
Okay.
Yeah. But from what I understand, it's like a lot of home hobbies, maybe lack of space, lack of food also. It will not be a very optimal environment for them to grow sexually.
To that size. I mean, it's difficult,
size,
right, with a tank like this size.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Very
these
cool.
are actually young.
Okay.
Yeah, those are also young.
So how young are these?
This is only 2 months old.
2 months old.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they can grow to much bigger.
So when you feed them, right, can you actually see them feeding or do they just kind of just
Yeah,
stick?
so when they swim around, the oral arms, you see the fluffy
Yeah.
part, those are the oral arms. This fluffy part, right? So these oral arms will capture the Artemia and then you will see them bring it to under the bell. Yeah, you will see like the tentacles area will be a bit orange because of the
I see.
Artemia. Then under the bell, it will be very orangey.
Okay.
Then that's how we know that they are fat.
Have these guys been fed? Can we
No,
take a
because
look?
we don't feed them now because it's a closed system.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Understand,
then if we don't have a sum and then it's very
Understood.
small volume of
I was
water.
wondering how that was going
Yeah.
to be handled here. That's why there's a sum, right?
Yeah, because
Okay.
we have they are much bigger and they have to be fed because they are not photosynthetic. So these guys can stay here for the weekend because I have the light, but those I need to feed.
How much do you feed? Like
I just
how
feed,
much will this last?
For today only.
So this whole jar
Actually-
will last one day for them.
Yeah, but in the aquarium, this jar is only for 1 feet. Yeah, but that's because we have a lot of water lah. Yeah,
So they actually eat a lot.
they eat a lot, and then you need to do a lot of water change.
Can you overfeed them, or will they just
Yes.
keep consuming?
No, you can overfeed
You
them.
can.
So if you overfeed them, if their oral arms hold too much food,
Rot.
they will rot. Because
Like corals,
the food die, yeah. So the food die, they rot, and then the tentacles will fall off. Because the oral arm rot carrying the rotten food. Yeah, and
What a way
because
to
they
go.
don't have brain one, so they will just like hold. Yeah, they
I
just
see.
hold, and then the food rot, and then the arm will just fall off.
Okay,
And then when
okay.
they don't have tentacles, they cannot feed. Then they will start to shrink. Then they will start to die.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So could you like talk us through that one? Okay, so we're here beside a jelly tank with moon jellies. So like,
jellies.
we want to see for the aquarists at home, like how will you what kind of tips and tricks you recommend? Because we know that you do it a little differently from some other people here. So
Yeah, usually a traditional jellyfish tank, right? Sea jelly tank, the outlet is always near the strainer. It's so to push the jellies away from the strainer. Yeah, but for this system, I designed it to have a spray bar on this side to do it this way. Yeah, because the size and the species of jellies, right, to do the spray bar this way is okay. But if you put other jellies that has very long and thin tentacles, they might get sucked in. Yeah.
okay.
And also like the position of the spray bar, you can see the holes, right? So sometimes also it depends on what species you put in. The size of the hole matters also, because if you put jellies that are less active, right, then you need holes that are much bigger here and then holes much smaller here, because you know like water will just go to
Right.
where it's smoother. So when the holes are bigger outside, then the current will be stronger at the side, then the jellies don't get stuck. Yeah, because sometimes if you don't clean your acrylic frequently, there's a layer of biofilm or slime or algae, right? Actually, when the jellies swim past, they will get stuck. Then
Oh.
they will literally get stuck like a suction cup. Yeah, then they will be deformed.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why spray bars are important to push them away from any surface area.
I see.
And also jellies are not supposed to touch on any hard surface, so they have to be constantly swimming. So
Wow.
they are very different from fish tank, because fish will
Yeah.
swim and then make their own way.
Fish have brains.
Yeah, and
Fish have
jellies
brains.
don't have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then no bubbles also, so you have to make sure your pump don't suck any air, so it doesn't spray out
micro
any
bubbles
bubbles.
lah.
No micro, big bubble, medium,
Okay,
anything.
okay.
Yeah, no, just no bubbles. Try not to have lah.
The gets in them and like messes.
Yeah,
okay.
it gets in them. If you are there, you can turn them around and then the bubbles escape. But if you are not around, if you are not at home, then the bubble will
Right.
just get trapped in the bell, and then after a while it goes right inside. It's very hard to remove.
I see. Okay.
Then they will start to bounce on the surface, and then they cannot fit properly.
no.
Yeah, and then
I-
eventually a hole.
Like they look great, but I can't. I just
Yeah, it's
personally can't imagine keeping it. Sounds like a pain in the butt. But
Quite 麻烦
yeah, definitely. Okay, well these are not photosynthetic by the way. They have to be
these are
fed. So that's the interesting one. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, hello. So we're here at the booth, and I think there's some nice kind of sharks in a jar here. So we'll check in. Yeah. So what was your name?
Okay, my name is Christine. I'm one of the aquarium specialists in SEA Aquarium.
Okay.
Yep.
So what do we have here? I
Okay,
don't know
we
what it is, but-
display different species of sharks.
Uh-huh.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of shark eggs. So this is real ones.
Wait, are they still
Yeah.
alive?
No.
Oh, they're preserved,
We
right? It's
preserve,
preserved, right?
yeah.
Okay, okay.
But all this you can find in SEA Aquarium. So not all shark like give birth to pups or baby. So some of them laying eggs. So after a certain time, they will hatch and become with the egg case, and the baby will come out from
It's the mermaid purse, right?
shark.
They call it.
Yes.
Okay. So like when they grow, like how big are they usually?
It depends on the species.
Okay. So
Like
the smallest
for
one?
bamboo shark only like this.
So small.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
For the zebra shark, like this.
Yeah, but they grow very
Yeah,
fast.
They grow very
Grow
fast.
very fast.
yeah.
Okay.
And the time also different.
Okay, the
Like
gestation
depends
period.
on the temperature of water.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the colder it is, the slower.
It takes very
Okay,
slow.
okay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So like okay, each adult shark, like how many purses do they
Okay,
usually
over a year is like more than 60.
Over a year.
Yeah.
But at one time it's like one.
One time is 20.
20, okay.
Yeah. But it's very hard to get the fertilized one.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe one time we collect 30, you can get all empty.
Show us.
Okay, so hi, my name is Ming and I'm a aquarium specialist. And this is actually part of what we do. We actually give enrichment to our mantas, and we actually use this syringe and this syringe actually is filled with krill, and we actually use it to actually push it into our mantas' mouth. Yeah. So the reason why we actually give that enrichment is because our mantas are very smart and they actually need interaction, and so this is not to make them bored or whatnot, and also it also allows us to let them be comfortable with being handled.
Okay.
Yeah, because if they're comfortable with being handled, if they next time in future they need like medical procedures and whatnot, it'll be easier for
Okay.
us to handle them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I went diving with the rays once, and it was more snorkeling, and kind of.
okay.
And they were like, oh, don't touch the rays because they have like a mucus
Yes.
thing, and so
Mhm.
we were like very careful not to touch them. But they were touching us more often, and all. They were like, they were doing the somersault things.
Or the
And
barrel
they were like
rolls.
going belly to belly with us. It was very creepy. It was quite fun, but it was at night. And like we kind of stopped by because we saw this, and it's like I use a small turkey baster for the tank, but this is intense. Okay.
Yeah. Because our mantas are very big, it's around like 2 meters.
How many do we have at SEA?
We have 3 males.
This is in the big
Yes,
viewing aquarium.
the biggest one, our biggest habitat.
Wow. How big are they? The biggest one?
2 meters ish, around 2 meters.
About 7 feet.
Yeah.
Maybe like this. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Really,
okay.
really long.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, no
Thanks.
worries.